Hourly chart. If I mark this as the dealing range, hanging out just below the 0.79 level and below Thursday's high of the opening range gap, respecting the midpoint of this new week opening gap. Drifted higher so far. This is the start of the London kill zone. I'm thinking we roll over. I sat down at the computer. Like back here. 5-minute chart. Mark this wick. Midpoint. Here's that same drawing. Suspension block. So either this was the dip to take this liquidity to run higher, or we are about to break lower. High, higher high by a wick, but lower high with the bodies, lower high with the bodies, lower volume imbalance, displace lower, come back up, respect that, back down, up, respect this rejection block, back down. Target this new week opening gap level. Put my take profit just above these relative equal lows here. Less than a minute until the 2 a.m. macro ends. Wick below the sell side, back up. Respect to volume imbalance. Put some bodies down there. See if it's gonna keep going lower or if this is the bottom for now. Not bad. Trailing stop method took me out within less than 200 bucks difference from the low, and that's with two larger contracts instead of the micros. 5 minute chart. Mark this wick, bring it over. So far respecting it. Lines up with this 1 minute suspension block. We'll watch this to see if it's going to be a longer term reversal or if this is just another entry to go short like these others before it. This is your turtle soup entry. High, higher high, entry, bam. Aggressive entry. Come back to the beginning of this consolidation. Suspension block, 1 minute chart. Carry this forward. Suspension block marked. Didn't touch it. This is one where you could have shorted with a stop or a stop limit order so that if it came back down, giving you confirmation that rolled back over, triggers you in. Came down to this suspension block. Back up into this fair value gap inside this suspension block. 15-second chart. Volume imbalance into fair value gap. Push through this little baby suspension block. So down, break, order block confirmed by this candle. Up, back down. Volume imbalance. This wick could be an entry long. Up, back down. Respects this wick. Volume imbalance. Making this a really strong sign that's going to continue that way. So you have a volume imbalance here, 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 and here all along. You did not get any volume imbalances down here. This is inside this range. So consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. Then you break out of that range with a body, continuation, pull back, entry, boom. 15-minute chart. Five-minute chart. Respecting this 5-minute suspension block for the moment. New York lunch session low No, this is the high of New York lunch from today. So swept buy side, took minor sell side. Looks like we're going to come up here and take buy side again. Unless this move really loses momentum. One minute chart. So far, respecting this suspension block, this fair value gap, and all these other ones that overlap it. Almost 230. Keep making their way higher. Ran up, didn't make a new high. Bodies did not get above these. Drop back down. Up into the order block. Back down. Up, order block again. So far, it hasn't done enough to invalidate my bearish opinion that I had during this candle. But I'm not confident enough to dive in short. Because you could get a big candle like this. That could be followed by another one. Because these lows are also respecting bullish setups. So you can make a case in both directions. Since it's moving this way, you'd be looking for continuation. Getting close to the 3 a.m. macro. Lots of patience tonight. The next report is non-farm payroll, so tonight is probably going to be all this just sucky bullshit. We were not able to hit the Asia session high back here. So same as new week opening gap, opening range gap, or anything else. This is showing weakness, more weakness, displacing lower out of this consolidation. Look for retracement to enter short on. This would have been a nice entry. Wait for this high at the start of London. Sit through this consolidation. Waiting for some sort of meaningful trade signal. And also the next macro. Come up here. Sets up relative equal highs. This will be a likely target at some point in the future. Drop, volume imbalance, fair value gap, entry, stop loss, enter, and drop. Enter at 135, target 115. Just about out. I place this order when these candles are forming. Trying to be patient and use a proper entry method when price comes back up instead of retail entry methods like breakout trades lower. If you use a suspension block off of this little guy to there, entry on that low, that's where it would have been triggered in at. This is what I'm waiting for. Larger move up that would put pressure on this entry because this would be the impatient entry. Take a low hanging fruit objective here. Small victory for the live account. Paper money. Let's take the mid of the suspension block. There it goes. 5-minute chart. See if it takes this. Came into the suspension block. Back up. Should punch lower down to here. Five-minute chart. Real close to the midpoint of the 5-minute wick. It took the bodies. That's good enough. cannot always expect it to take out the wicks. Still consolidating inside this candle's range. Unless the next hourly candle can close below this level here. In 53 minutes. $2.50 to $3.10. Got 4 minutes left for the 3 a.m. macro. If it's going to continue short, this would be an entry. Fair value gap overlaps multiple other PD arrays. All the way back to this rejection block. Carry that rejection block level over. Wicks are showing weakness. Now if we get displacement lower, then that confirms this as a good entry. And add that to the journal for the future. This would have been a good spot for the partial. Add. Partial. If it comes up again into this fair value gap, after making a meaningful run lower, then you'd add again. Got a 2 a.m. trade, a 3 a.m. trade. See if 3:30 gives us anything. Might keep watching until 4 o'clock. Starting to get tired. $15-minute chart. We're at this sell side level now. Next stop will be down here. Target after that would be here. If London can drive down here, and if we stay down here until the 9:30 bell, then that would give us a mechanical case for a bullish trade back into this opening range gap. Or we stay up here until 9:30 and then Look for a gap fill to the downside. Then we could easily continue lower through the day and end up back right smack dab in the middle of the same range we've been in for the last couple of weeks. With a report coming, these targets give it a decent run, but still boring. Report comes out, shakes things up, could spike back up here, give the bulls false hope, and then during the New York session, roll over lower. Let's see if that plays out or not. Hit the event horizon level. Top quadrant of this wick. And we hit Thursday's first presented fair value gap. Drop, no volume imbalances, volume imbalance, yes, 1 minute chart, just got the volume imbalance for this candle. Looks like the plan for lower prices is gonna work out. Entry, stop loss will be above these highs. Enter on that fair value gap. $325, and here we go. 15-minute chart. New week opening gap level. Push through. Take out the low of this wick. Target these lows. Midpoint of new week opening gap. These lows. New week opening gap level. And then Friday's opening range gap. This minor sell side has been taken. New York PM session high. Broke through the new week opening gap midpoint. Making a quick trip down to this next sell side level. Just about there. One more little push. There it goes. Next stop, the high of this new week opening gap. Daily chart. Here's that new week opening gap high. For this week. All right, 1 minute chart. If you're planning for a continuation, you need to allow it to come up to the upper fair value gap. It does. It does not make it to the midpoint of the suspension block, showing weakness, decent entry price, rolling back over. Now we'll see if this is the reversal and it respects this, or if it's going to continue lower. Violating the midpoint of this fair value gap, not a great sign if you want to be long. It is a good sign if you added to your short position here. Close below the midpoint. See if it respects these PD arrays to the upside. "15-second chart, volume imbalance, fair value gap." And if I was in a short trade, this would make me fear a reversal.
It's easy. It still have my